Hey, futurist Jim Carroll from the virtual broadcast studio. Listen, I've been running this series, I think I'm on week number 4 now, last week in inspiration. And what I've been doing here is covering the stuff that I've been covering in my weekly inspiration. Now look, this is a project that I began in August 2016. I decided I needed to accelerate my thinking and start my day by thinking about some of the trends and issues and disruptive things that I'm seeing and really try to motivate not only myself, but individuals out there in social media. So I started writing these and putting these together every morning between 5 and 6 a.m. when I'm up. I'm approaching 1,500 of these. I have not missed one single day since the start, way back in August 2016, every single workday. These are happening without fail. They're almost becoming like a little bit of an obsession. But they work, and I send them out on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. They go out in a Substack newsletter. They go out on an email list. And there's a whole bunch of people receiving them. And I'm getting more and more comments on how people are finding these are helpful, as they start their day, because they're talking about disruption, trends, innovation, and all kinds of stuff like that. So if you want to sign up for these, you can visit inspiration.jimcarroll.com. You can join the mailing list, and you can also find them on all my social media. So what I'm doing in this little video series is I'm taking apart the issues that I'm covering. What am I talking about? What drew my attention last week? So let's start out here, Monday morning. Look, the situation with Ukraine is absolutely dreadful. The world is horrified. We know that we are seeing absolutely dramatic political changes here. The geopolitical consequences are absolutely astounding. And I mean, look, personally, I was working with a PR agency over in Ukraine, in Kyiv, just before Christmas on trends for the future. And, a lot of conversations back and forth with a wonderful individual. And I just heard from her, and I mean, she's hearing bombs dropping outside her apartment. It's a horrid situation. And I think we're all trying to figure out where it's going to go and what it means and how do we personally deal with it. This led to what I put together that Monday morning when it really became, apparent that this thing was going to be extremely significant. What I wrote was the acceleration of the uncertainty in your life should not decelerate your initiative. And I think what I was trying to capture here is sort of the mindset that has always driven me when we've had periods of volatility, whether it was the dot-com collapse or the 2008 downturn, or I had another downturn around 1998. Regardless of what was going on in the economy, I was always, focused on, look, at a personal level, we've got to work to get through this. We've got to ensure that we're doing the right things for our company, for our personal health, for our mindset, doing what we can to assist others. Whatever we do, we should not decelerate our initiative. And I think what I'm trying to encourage here is we shouldn't fall into that state of what I call aggressive indecision, which came to drive so much what people do when they hold themselves back because there's so much uncertainty. So that's what I was focused on Monday. Well, day 2 rolls around Tuesday, and the war. We're all thinking about the war, and my thought that morning was, look, denial has consequences. I mean, obviously, we're all hopeful that Russia's plans are not going according to what Putin had thought. We're seeing signs that there are supply chain issues, and the Ukrainians are fighting a hell of a battle. And I think the phrase that came in my mind is denial. Denial of your reality, denial of this new world order has consequences. I was sort of torn because I also wrote another one that sort of went with it. Delusions have consequences, and I couldn't decide which one I wanted to run with. I ended up writing about denial having consequences, and I didn't go with the Ukraine situation because we're all obviously watching every single moment of it on the news. And what actually caught my attention that morning as I was piecing together my thought process at 5:15 in the morning with my morning coffee was I got a notification my car is getting a software update. I've got a Tesla in the garage. It gets software updates because that's what cars of the 22nd century do. They get updates, which adds new features, which adds all kinds of capabilities. And at the same time that was happening, I was thinking about a video I saw the day before that the West Virginia Automotive Dealers Association wants to ban what are called over-the-air software updates. They want to make illegal the fact that my car could sit in the driveway and receive a software update, which does some maintenance. What they want is that you have to take your car into an auto dealer and you have to pay them, or they get money for taking your car so it can sit there, I guess, via Wi-Fi and get a software update. It's crazy. It's stupid. It's business model denial. And this is, it's like when the music companies were fighting Napster and MP3s and digital music. And I mean, they lost the battle. It was just ridiculous. And so that's what I was writing about Tuesday. I mean, I just see so much of this absolute silliness and stupidity. And there's a blog post that goes with that. You can read about my thoughts. Day 3 rolls around. And, this volatile world is on our mind. And what I wrote was, I think as we try to get through understanding this new world order, understanding the volatility, look, we've got to think long term. It's better to invest in your optimism than to succumb to your pessimism. If you visit my website today, you'll notice I have Jim Carroll, futurist, trends, innovation, expert, professional optimist. I'm doubling down on my optimism. I mean, I have to do it each and every day because with so much volatility, we got to keep in the right frame of mind. And what I actually did was I wrote a list, modeled a little bit on a similar list I put after the big global economic collapse of 2008. Why do I still believe in the future? And I shared this again after a certain election in a certain country in 2016 when it became apparent that crazy times were happening. In this list I wrote, why do I believe in the future? Well, look, regardless of the volatility around this, we know that science is still going to exponentiate. We know that knowledge is still accelerating at a furious pace. There's still big thinkers out there who are thinking really big, bold about their future, inventing new industries and new careers and new jobs and new ideas. Dreamers still dream. I mean, there's a lot of folks out there who have big ideas about the future and are prepared to double down and invest in them. Innovators still innovate. I mean, there's still people out there who are changing the world. Doers still do. Teachers still teach. A little shout out to my friend Ian Bates. I mean, we're still educating children for the next future. Creators still create. I mean, this is a list of why I still believe there's still very much a powerful future. And I added a new 10th one. There are always heroes. I think we're all stunned by the Ukrainian president and what he is doing in terms of motivating not only his people, but the world to rally behind them. So it rolls around to Thursday, totally different frame of mind. I go on a 6-kilometer, 4.5 mile walk every single morning, right after I put together my daily inspiration. I was thinking that day, okay, I got to get away from this optimism and volatility, and I got to think something different. And I was thinking about what happens when we zone out. We zone out, like boom, our mind wanders away somewhere. And a lot of the times when I'm out my morning walk, I'm thinking of the phrases that are driving my day. And I had something about being ambushed by your daydreams, and this is what I came up with: never fear a potential ambush from your daydreams because they're part of your imagination factory. And I looked it up, a little bit of research. People who daydream more have a higher IQ. People who daydream more invent more of the stuff that becomes part of the stuff of our future. I mean, daydreaming is good for you. So if you do anything today, go zone out, have a nap, do something. This is where the magic happens. Friday rolls around, and this is one that hit me a couple of weeks before. And I've got a little file where I write down my daily quotes and I inventory them, and every single day I go and find which one I'm going to use the next morning. The thought that came into my mind was, if you can't handle the truth, you can't handle the future. And this is based on a lot of conversations that I have with potential clients who, when they want me to talk about something, they'll say, but don't talk about our competitor, but don't talk about this issue, but don't talk about this disruptive trend. It's crazy. They don't want me to talk about something. And it goes to the scene in that movie, A Few Good Men, where Jack Nicholson, Tom Cruise is the lawyer, and he's goading him on. This is one of the most powerful scenes in Hollywood movie history. And Jack Nicholson finally loses it and screams out, "You can't handle the truth." I mean, it's an incredible scene in movie history. That's what was in my mind. If you can't handle the future, you can't handle the truth. That's the reality. You have to be prepared to accept everything that is happening around you. You can't deny anything. If you are denying the truth, you can't handle the future. So, this is what I'm doing. You can find all these things at inspiration.jimcarroll.com. I'd encourage you to sign up. A little daily email that goes out about 6 a.m. It's short, to the point. I'm not going to bombard you with spam. You can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Substack, and they all go to the website. And then I sort of summarize them here because people are starting to like these summaries. I'm having a lot of fun. Because, hey, I got this virtual broadcast studio behind me, and I'm discovering new ways to use it all the time. I'm actually going to be on a call with a potential client in about 45 minutes to talk about a virtual presentation. And just about an hour ago, I actually got a confirmed booking for a virtual keynote that I have to have ready for May. This while we start to seem to be going back more in-person events. So I've built this massive facility. I'm learning to leverage it. I'm having a huge amount of fun. If you've got ideas on things that inspire you on a daily basis, send me an email. Let me know, and I'll see if I can turn it into one of my daily posts. So again, inspiration.jimcarroll.com. Thank you for watching, and that's it for now from the virtual broadcast studio.